Hello. Hello everybody, it's LE Diecast and we're back. If you watched the last video, you can see I cheated a little bit because this particular car wasn't painted, I don't think, in the last video. So I've got a couple pictures here just to show some progress as I had worked through this. The reason I didn't film it is my little makeshift film studio here still isn't perfect, and I was only able to work on it at night, and if I filmed it at night with the light setup that I've got, it wasn't going to look good anyways, and I just figured it was going to be a whole bunch of work for nothing, so I wanted to get it done. So this was a Jada car. It's oversized, so if you're used to seeing again the Hot Wheels and you didn't watch the last one, that is the Hot Wheels size. So it's a little big, so if your sense of scale is thrown off a little bit, understandable. This was one of the 20th anniversary Jada cars, so this came in like a Zamac finish. You're going to see another one in a second that has the finish on it, and so it was pretty much unpainted. I stripped the glaze off of it, the clear coat, which took forever. That was the first sign that I probably shouldn't have taken on such a large project. And then masked it. I think I painted it orange first, and then I masked it and got it to this point after a couple various masking and tapings and retapings and redoing. I will say the paint job on this is not my best. The scale really threw me off more than I thought it was going to. I fully appreciate real modelers' paint techniques at this point. I think I'm going to have to go back and review what they do. I'm used to working on things that are so small that nothing really takes very long, and so when it came to either the sanding or the paint quality, this is really cheap rattle can paint. And again, if you just started watching, I'm kind of set up in an apartment here for another couple weeks, and so my usual equipment that I would use for the Hot Wheel Customs is still in California. Well, I take that back. It's actually on its way back here now, and we should be better set up soon. But the rattle can paint is really pretty crummy quality at this scale. It works pretty well for Hot Wheels because they're so small you don't notice it. And hopefully on camera it actually looks a little bit better than it is. But what I ran into is just so many edges on something this big that when I went back and sanded it and polished it and really tried to get the paint to look good, I just inherited a lot of blemishes. In fact, that one there can be washed off, but there's just a lot of blemishes with it, and the paint quality just isn't what I wanted. I would do this in more of a candy coat or something if I was to do it again, because it's such a large space. You can see just this stripe alone is probably as much square footage as a regular Hot Wheel. So you learn. Also the tampos had to be scaled up, and that took some time. So all in all, it just took more time than what I was planning to spend on it. I made this mainly for my office at the college, and it'll serve fine for sitting on a shelf. It's not going to win any competitions, obviously, but it's a one-of-a-kind, nice little conversation piece. I'll put it in the office. And with that in mind, I'll just kind of spin this around so you can see the whole thing. If the light catches it, I do have a blemish here on the fender that I decided not to fix. It's where my polishing wheel caught the surface a little bit. And again, I'm working now at, well, right there, Oklahoma State University Institute of Technology in Okmulgee, associated with the OSU system of schools. And so I needed some stuff for my office, and I wanted to show off my hobby. So that guy is going to drive away, or can't even drive him away, I gotta lift him away, so big. So here's what we're going to focus on for this video, and this is another one of that same series, 20th anniversary Jada, I guess we'll call it Zamac finish. You can see the finish here. That is the finish. I've not taken the clear coat or anything off on this model. I did remove the tampos with some polishing cream. So I use this type of polishing cream. If I can reach it, scale issues again. I use this type of polishing cream. You can get this at pretty near anywhere now. I used to have to order it online, but you can get it at Walmart. I think that's where I got it, and it'll last forever. So I did remove the lettering and the livery and tampos, whatever you want to call them. So this is all just straight metal now, and it's got two passes of decorations we're going to do. I'm going to do some flames here on the front. You can see I've already put one of my masks or stencils on it. I guess this would be officially a mask. Call them stencils sometimes. That's not a stencil, it's a mask. And that's just vinyl, a very thin vinyl. And I used to sell these, and a lot of you are asking if I still do. I plan to start selling them again, but again, between the move and just the setup being a bit displaced right now, we're not selling them. So you'll probably notice I took all the sales sites down, but we might start selling those again. Maybe. A lot of people would like it if I did. But I've applied that, and it's just on the hood here. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this, and then underneath it on the side panels here, and here, right there, there's another taped off flame mask. And so when I remove the tape for this first pass, then that one will do. And I can't do them all at the same time because it's just too complex to mask off everything and try to do it that way. So what I'm going to do is this one first, then I'll remove all this, retape it, and do the sides. And I think what I'll do is come back once this is painted and I've removed the tape so you can see what that looks like. This is also going to have some Oklahoma water slides put on, Oklahoma State, I should say, water slides on it again for my office. Same reason as the other. I did want to show how I mask these, and I've done this before with Hot Wheels. I just don't think it ever got shown on video. When I mask off an area, especially when I'm using something like a stencil or a vinyl mask like this, this area obviously gets covered with the detail that you want to spray. So this should leave behind it black flames. And then the negative space is going to be this metal once I remove it. If all works, you can see here that vanilla colored tape, that is Tamiya masking tape, which is my favorite masking tape to use. It's made for models, so it will bend and flex around edges pretty easily. I tend to use the thinner versions of it, but you can get it in all sorts of widths, and if you really want to save some money, you can get the thicker widths and cut your own. I've done that before too. And then I come back with the cheap regular dollar store painter's tape. So this is just $1 roll painter tape from Dollar Tree or Dollar General, and I tape off the rest, and that way I'm not using the more expensive tape to tape off the big areas, but I'm using the more expensive tape to kind of cut the edges. And although you can't see it, you'll see it here on this side panel when I release it, when I'm done with this first pass, and you'll see some more of that. You can see it right there, also along the hood. And then I just use saran wrap for any really large areas. You could also use a plastic bag. And that way you're not wrapping tape around the whole model, where maybe the tape might catch a small part, or a lot of times what I'm worried about is the tape will lift a small part, and then I just throw the tape away and I figure out I'm missing the part later because the tape gobbled up a small part. So I just cover it with saran wrap, and then make sure everything's taped in, and I'll be spraying from this direction So I just make sure that all my edges of my tape are nailed down with any paint that could come in from this direction. I don't worry so much about the back, but paint will get into every single little nook and cranny. Also, probably should mention this hood, even though if you're looking closely, it looks like it lifts up, it doesn't. So there's nothing I need to worry about getting underneath it. And the hood probably would have been a separate piece if I took this apart, but I really didn't think there was a need to take it apart for the paint job that I'm doing on it here. So I just left it all in one piece. And the reason I'm painting it this way is I want to avoid that kind of blemishing that was on the delivery that we just saw. I'm not going to really put very much paint on this. I'll just focus more on the tampos, and I think it'll look better. It'll get done, it'll sit on my shelf, and then hopefully we'll move back to some Hot Wheels or Matchbox next to work on. Okay, I'm going to go paint this. I'll be right back. Okay, here it is, just painted. I tried taking some of the tape off by hand just to show it off, but it's all very clunky to do with the camera in front of me. So what I'm going to do is take off most of this paint, and then I'll take off the mask on camera. So I'll be right back. Okay, we'll try and do this on camera. We'll see if it works. This side panel is going to stay because that's the next piece that needs to be taped off. So we've got some of this trim tape here. Take that off. Oh, that came off pretty easy. Frame here should peel off okay. And you want to peel this off when the paint's still a little wet. I find that works best. It's not my idea. I heard that from somewhere. So I always do it that way. And there's our flames. That looks pretty good. So that's a flat black. So I'm not going to paint over that moving forward. Or I should say glaze over that. So now I need to let this dry, and I'll have to protect this because if there's no clear coat over the top of this piece, then it's going to peel away really easy if any tape touches it. So what I'll do is put a piece of saran wrap over the top of this and then tape over that, and then that way the tape won't stick to that paint because there's no clear sandwiching it together. The clear is usually pretty tough. It won't lift up, but that paint will stick to any masking tape that's on it, or at least I would risk doing that. So we'll put a nice little piece of saran wrap right over the top of it here, tape over the top of that, and then we'll tape off this area so that all that will receive paint's just this square that I've got here. And if this all works out, the plan is I'll have black flames here, but the metal flames here with a black background. So just switching the positive and negative space should look good. We'll see. Be back when it's all dry and taped off. Okay, we're back, and this Frankenstein is our pickup truck that we're going to spray. And underneath here is that saran wrap I'm telling you about, and hopefully our new flames we just painted are nice and safe. So we're going to paint these side panels here. Probably can't see that too well. There you go. Going to paint those side panels, and when we're done, we should have a black background with metal flames. So I'll be right back. We'll see what that looks like. Alright, we're back. You can see I just painted that on. I am going to take off the majority of this tape, and then I'll try and take off the part that's painted on camera here just in a minute. Alright, we'll take the rest of this off on camera and see what we've got. I need... Alright. Okay. See if I can do this so the camera can pick it up. So that turned out pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's see if the other side came out as good. Okay, the big reveal. Let's see what this side looks like. Well, mostly the big reveal. I missed a piece down here. There we go. So, pretty happy with those flames. I like the way that looks. Yeah. I'm liking that. So, I think next we've just got to do some tampo work on this. And I think that's where we're going to end this video. And in the next video, we'll do a little bit more decorating on this guy. So thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.